If there was a gun under this table, yeah? I'd be as dead as that kid over there.
The movie opens in a hospital room in Japan. A man, referred to as the father, looks over at his son, Wataru, who is lying unconscious on the hospital bed. Wataru's grandfather, known as the Elder, arrives at the hospital and scornfully asks where the father was when his son was thrown off a rooftop. Overwhelmed by painful memories, the father silently weeps. The scene then switches to another man walking around Tokyo. He goes by the name Ladybug and is the main lead of the story. He is on a call with his handler, Maria, who thanks him for stepping in at the last minute as Carver, another assassin, has fallen ill. He tells her how he thinks he has bad luck because people die, even when he is not trying to kill them. While walking through the train station, he bumps into the father but doesn't take notice as the two are strangers. Ladybug retrieves his gear from a secret locker before heading to his assignment. Meanwhile, the father has already boarded the train, coincidentally, the same one Ladybug is about to enter.
Hey, this is nice.
After Ladybug gets in too, Maria gives him the details about the train and his mission. He is tasked with retrieving a briefcase and getting off the train without any violence. When the ticket collector comes to take his ticket, Ladybug realizes that he has lost it. Having only the receipt, he is allowed to stay on the train for only one stop. We are then introduced to two more characters, the British assassin duo known as Tangerine and Lemon, also known as the Twins. Tangerine is impeccably dressed, sharp-tongued, and prone to explosive anger, while Lemon is more laid back, but equally deadly, with an endearing obsession with Thomas the Tank Engine that he uses as a psychological profiling system. Their brotherly chemistry shines through as they argue and tease each other like real siblings, yet their trust in one another runs deep, built over years of working side by side in high-stakes situations since forever. Meanwhile, the father makes his way into the first-class section of the train. In his hand is a folded note that reads, "I pushed him," along with a specific seat number. Armed with a gun, he quietly approaches the assigned seat, prepared for a confrontation. However, to his surprise, he finds a seemingly harmless teenage girl sitting there. As he tries to apologize for what appears to be a misunderstanding, the girl suddenly uses the taser on him. She's not innocent at all. She's another assassin, known by the alias The Prince. At the same time, Ladybug remains on the phone with Maria as he successfully locates the briefcase. She urges him to exit the train immediately to complete the mission without attracting attention. Meanwhile, we learn that Tangerine and Lemon are not simply passengers. They've just completed a high-risk mission involving the rescue of White Death's son. White Death, a feared and powerful crime lord, has entrusted them with both his son and a briefcase filled with ransom money. The son, simply called the Son, sits nearby, seemingly drugged or in shock. When the son wakes up, Tangerine tells him how they killed 17 men to rescue him. This sparks an argument as Lemon insists there were only
16.
Their playful yet intense bickering continues as they flash back to their mission, trying to count the actual number of casualties. Eventually, it turns out Tangerine is correct, but the body count includes an unintended victim.
Shit, that wasn't our fault.
While discussing the mission with the son, they emphasize that their top priority now is to ensure both his safety and that of the briefcase. What they don't realize, however, is that Ladybug already has the briefcase in his possession. As Lemon gets up to retrieve the briefcase, Tangerine receives a phone call informing him that their stop will be Kyoto Station, the final stop on the route. After hanging up, he suddenly realizes with dread that Lemon has misplaced the briefcase.
We need to find the person who took that case.
Meanwhile, Ladybug begins to grow suspicious. Everything feels too smooth, too easy, and he's convinced something is off. Maria, still on the call with him, tries to reassure him, but Ladybug remains unconvinced. As he passes through the first-class section, the prince notices him but chooses not to act, quietly observing instead. When Ladybug prepares to exit the train at the next station, he's startled to find a crazed man waiting on the other side of the door. Before he can step off, the man launches a surprise attack. Back in first class, the father finally regains consciousness. The prince calmly tells him he needs to hear the full story before doing anything rash. To prove how serious she is, she calls an associate stationed at the hospital and gives him a chilling order. If she doesn't call back within 10 minutes, he is to kill Wataru.
If you don't hear from me every 10 minutes, go in there and kill.
Elsewhere on the train, the twins begin to panic. They know the reputation of White Death. He has a history of executing anyone who fails him. To emphasize the severity of their situation, Tangerine recounts a story from the criminal underworld. He tells of Minagishi, the feared Japanese crime lord, and a mysterious Russian who rose quickly through the ranks to become Minagishi's most trusted advisor. Despite warnings from others about the Russians' loyalty and danger, Minagishi ignored them. In the end, their fears came true, and the Russian betrayed him, killed him with a shot to the head, and seized power for himself. That Russian was White Death. He is a psycho gang leader, and when he finds out that they have lost the case, he won't wait a second to end them. Lemon scoffs that if he is such a feared man, then why didn't he rescue his son himself? This is when Tangerine tells him that the White Death loved his wife, and after she died, he hasn't left the compound. But instead, he trusted them, knowing they won't make any mistakes, so now they have to sort this mess. But now, the unthinkable has happened. When the duo returns to check on the son, they discover him dead, turning their already dangerous situation into a deadly catastrophe. At the same time, the prince tells her side of the story to the father. It's revealed that he once worked for White Death and was the one responsible for delivering the suitcase filled with ransom money to one of White Death's trusted associates. Since that transaction, the prince has been tracking him, believing that the suitcase holds the key to finding White Death. Her ultimate goal is to eliminate him, and she wants the father to do the killing for her.
You're going to kill him for me.
The story then flashes back 26 years to a quiet village in Spain. There, a tragic event shapes a young boy's future. After his mother's untimely death, the boy transforms into a cold-blooded assassin, now feared as the Wolf. He is none other than the one who just attacked Ladybug. It's revealed that on the day of his wedding, the Wolf's wife was murdered, and he holds Ladybug responsible, believing he played a role in her death. Since then, the Wolf has been consumed by a desire for revenge, patiently waiting for the right moment to strike. That moment arrives when he spots Ladybug on the train. Without hesitation, he lunges at him with a knife. Ladybug, caught off guard but quick to react, fights back. A chaotic struggle follows, but the Wolf meets an unexpected end when he is accidentally killed by his own dagger during the scuffle. As the train stops briefly at the next station, Ladybug prepares to exit but misses his chance. The stop is too short and the doors close before he can get off. With no other option, he remains on board, now even more entangled in the unfolding chaos. To avoid drawing attention, Ladybug quickly cleans up the scene and hides the Wolf's body. At the same time, Tangerine and Lemon do the same with the son, disposing of the evidence to avoid alerting anyone on the train. As Ladybug tries to get off at the next station, he spots Lemon and recognizes him. In trying to escape him, he misses his other stop. Panicking, he tries to avoid him, but in the process, he misses yet another opportunity to get off the train. Frustrated, he contacts Maria, who urges him to stay calm and simply wait for the following stop. But how can he stay calm after knowing that he had killed the Wolf, and the twins are the owners of the briefcase? The prince, playing the role of an innocent young lady, informs Tangerine that Ladybug has the case, and he quickly messages Lemon. But as the message reaches him, so does Ladybug. He discreetly points his gun at Lemon, believing that the case is safe, and negotiates a deal with Lemon, not knowing that the prince has already found it. Lemon says that even though the offer is tempting, he won't accept because of the person Ladybug killed. Lemon is talking about the son, but Ladybug is shocked at how they know about the Wolf. The conversation quickly escalates into a fight. After knocking Lemon out, he mixes some of his special poison into Lemon's water bottle, steals his gun and phone, and leaves. He then calls Maria, informing her about the son, his death, and says that there might be someone else here too, because he was killed the same way as the people at Wolf's wedding, the same poison, which means the same killer. His theory is proven when he finds a deadly snake amidst the bags, the boomslang. A few hours earlier, the news that the snake had been stolen was spreading all over Japan, because it is one of the most poisonous snakes in the world. After looking for Ladybug, Tangerine returns to his seat, only to find Lemon unconscious. He curses and gets back to work because only 5 more stops remain before they have to get off and face the White Death. Whereas Ladybug switches his outfit with another person, because Tangerine doesn't know his face, only his description. On the other hand, the prince is in possession of the case and making the father do her bidding. She locks him in a bathroom, ordering him to go through every possible combination until the case is unlocked. She smirks because the situation is in her favor, unlike the twins, who get a call telling them to get off at the next station to make sure everything is all right. As the next station arrives, they devise a plan. Only Tangerine gets off, saying that Lemon is with the case and shows the sun through the window.
Wave to your fucking fans, princess.
Before White Death's man could get suspicious, he boarded the train again. They have saved them from this situation, but they still need to get out of the mess before the last station. Before going to look for the culprit, Lemon tells Tangerine that even though Ladybug has the case, he is not the murderer of the son. The father succeeds in unlocking the case, and the prince adds an explosion setup to it. So whenever the White Death opens the case, he would be blown to pieces. She is extremely happy and confident that her plan will work, and puts the case back from where she took it. Meanwhile, Ladybug is hiding in the loo when Maria informs him that the other person they are looking for is the Hornet, who uses boomslang venom to kill his targets. But the two of them still cannot understand what the Hornet is doing on the train. He then decides to find the Hornet and hand him over to the twins to save himself. But before he could do anything, Tangerine found him with the help of the tracker in Lemon's phone. The two start fighting, but stop when a train attendant with a food trolley arrives. Not wanting to blow their cover, they pretend that everything is all right. Ladybug even buys water and makes Tangerine pay for it.
Oh, yeah. No, you're welcome. Yeah.
After she leaves, they get back to trying and kill each other. They are interrupted by a call to Tangerine, and it turns out that the twins, along with the case, have to show up at the next station, or everyone dies. After the call, Tangerine and Ladybug sit down opposite each other, brainstorming. An idea comes to Ladybug's mind, and at the next stop, he goes out with Tangerine, pretending to be Lemon. They are almost able to convince everyone, but Ladybug accidentally opens the case, revealing the clothes inside. Knowing that they have messed up, they run back into the train right before the door closes. They argue about what to do now, but don't come up with anything. At the next station, Ladybug advises that they should get off right now, but Tangerine doesn't agree, so Ladybug pushes him out right before the door closes, leaving him on the station. But he runs and is able to get on the tail of the train. On the other hand, the father begs the prince to spare the life of his kid, and he will do anything. Instead of understanding, she calls him a bad father, but the father retorts by saying that she is nothing but a spoiled brat herself, who likes playing with toys. They are interrupted by the arrival of Lemon, who asks if they have seen anything. Lemon is almost convinced, but a slip-up makes him realize that they are the ones they are looking for, and he takes out his gun. All the while, Lemon keeps drinking his water, not realizing that it was spiked by Ladybug earlier. Prince makes up a story of being an innocent girl who was kidnapped by the father. Wanting to get answers, Lemon shoots the father and, with the help of the prince, hides his body in the bathroom. She keeps pretending to be an innocent kid, but Lemon finds a gun in her bag. But before he could attack her, the water's effects start showing and he passes out. Finding the perfect opportunity, she kills him in cold blood. Tangerine finally gets himself inside the train and starts looking for Ladybug. It is then shown that the Hornet had been hiding in a mascot's costume and is a girl. She then knocks out an attendant, wears her outfit, and heads over to Ladybug. The two end up in a fight, which results in Ladybug getting injected with the venom, and in a millisecond, he injects the same venom inside the Hornet. Now they have only 30 seconds to get the antidote, or they'll both die. She quickly takes out the antidote, but Ladybug's quick thinking makes him get it first, and the Hornet dies of poisoning. At the other corner of the train, Tangerine finds Lemon's body and his heartbreak. He then gets a call from the White Death. Still reeling from the death of Lemon, he curses at the White Death and tells him to finish the job himself because he is done with it. The call ends with the White Death telling him that he will be at the station, waiting for him, and will kill the twins at sight. The mention of Lemon brings back the harsh memories, and he threatens that the White Death can't kill him in front of the passengers. Turns out that there is no civilian left on the train. Tangerine quickly realizes that the White Death isn't bluffing and the train is empty. He then finds the prince, who again plays the game of the innocent girl, blaming Ladybug for murdering his uncle and a man who kept talking about Thomas the Tank Engine. He believes her, letting her go. But when she turns around, he finds one of Lemon's stickers on her. He quickly realizes that she is Lemon's killer. But before he could shoot her, Ladybug arrives and the prince begs for his help. Wanting to save the innocent girl, Ladybug attacks Tangerine, and in the fight, Tangerine dies. In his last moments, he tries telling Ladybug that the girl isn't innocent, but he doesn't understand. The prince once again plays the innocent girl act, saying that someone is waiting for them at the Kōtarō station and that he would kill them. Ladybug says that they will get off at the next station and will be safe. Since her actual plan is to get the briefcase to the White Death, she pretends that her bag is stuck and doesn't get off at the next station, making Ladybug stay for her. The two are sitting together when the elder enters the cabin and sits down next to them. Turns out that he tracked the father's phone, which got him here. Since his presence creeps Ladybug out, he decides to take the case and go sit somewhere else. But when he bends down to pick the case, the boomslang bites him. He quickly rushes out, leaving the others alone. The elder finds that the prince is the one who pushed Wataru from the rooftop. She admits and tells him her plan and that both Wataru and the father are dead. At her response, he smirks and tells him that Wataru is alive, but her man is dead, and now it's her turn. She takes her bag and dashes out of the cabin, but the elder doesn't follow her. When Ladybug comes back, the elder tells him that the girl isn't innocent. The two engage in conversations where Ladybug calls himself unlucky. It is ironic because ladybugs are a symbol of good luck. The elder then tells him his story. He was in a high position within the Minagishi crime family, but another man took his place. The elder warned Minagishi not to trust the Russian, but he didn't listen and died. That night, after the White Death killed Minagishi, the elder survived and got home to find it burning. His wife was dead, but his son thankfully survived. The White Death had taken everything from him, so the elder decided to take revenge, but he never succeeded. And now, fate has given him a chance to make things right. He then tells him that ladybugs are not lucky. They just hold all the bad luck inside them so that the others may live in peace. The two team up against the White Death. When the elder deals with him, Ladybug takes the father's body out of the train. But when they get to the bathroom, they find that the father is alive. Injured, but alive. The fate takes an interesting turn when they realize that Lemon is also alive. His bulletproof jacket saved him, but he was just unconscious because of the water. The survivors all gather together, waiting for the last stop, for the White Death. Lemon is angry at Ladybug for killing Tangerine, and they fight. But they are stopped by the elder, who knocks some sense into them. He tells them that they need to fight together, or else they'll die. The train reaches the Kōtarō station, which is filled with the White Death and his deadly assassins. When the train stops, he gets inside and comes face to face with the prince. He is shocked to see her on the train, and it is revealed that she is his daughter. On the other side, Ladybug gets off the train with the suitcase and is captured. The White Death approaches the prince, but the hatred in her eyes is visible. She hates her father because he was never present for her. She deserved his attention, but he gave it to that fool son of his. He takes the gun out of her hand, not knowing that she has modified it to explode when the trigger is pressed. killing the person holding it. She urges him to press the trigger, but he doesn't.
Fucking do it!
He ignores her and leaves, just like always. He then goes out to where Ladybug is captured and asks about the others. He lies about them being dead to get others some time. The White Death orders some of his men to check the case and some to check the train. This is when Ladybug asks if the person who bought all of them and got them on the train is none other than the White Death himself. He admits, saying that he got them onto the same train, hoping that they all will kill each other. Turns out that the accident his wife died was actually an assassination attempt on him, but he had to be somewhere else at the last minute. The twins were in Bolivia, where they butchered the White Death's people, making him go there to handle the situation. If not for them, she wouldn't be in the car that night. She was then taken to the hospital, but the surgeon there was poisoned by the hornet and died before saving her. And the reason he ordered his own son to be killed was because that night, his wife was going to bail him out of jail. He brought them all together so they all will die. And now, only one is left. He points the gun at Ladybug and calls him Carver. This is when Ladybug realizes that Carver was the one who actually killed his wife, and the White Death has mistaken him for Carver. Before he could shoot him, the man opens the case, resulting in an explosion. The explosion blows Ladybug inside the train along with the White Death. A new fight starts inside the train between the men of the White Death and the survivors. The White Death and the Elder finally come face to face, while the White Death tells him to move aside so that he can kill Ladybug, whom he still thinks is Carver. The Elder refuses to move. Ladybug gets to the cockpit to Lemon and finds him struggling to stop the train. They are then attacked by the White Death men. Lemon decides to fight the men, ordering Ladybug to find a way to stop the train. Meanwhile, the Elder remembers his dead wife and attacks the White Death. Things get more messed up when their train crashes with another one, putting the cockpit on fire. But it still doesn't stop. After killing all the men, Ladybug and Lemon make up, but an accident causes Lemon to fall out of the train. Not knowing what to do, Ladybug pulls out all the wires, finally stopping the train. The abrupt stop of the train gives the Elder and the Father a crucial advantage. Seizing the moment, they manage to stab White Death. The violent jolt after stopping the train sends it off the tracks, crashing through a dense forest and finally skidding into an abandoned town. The mascot costume that the Hornet was wearing breaks Ladybug's fall, saving him. Despite being wounded, White Death emerges from the wreckage alive, gun in hand and fury in his eyes. He staggers toward Ladybug and points the weapon at him. Ladybug desperately tries to explain that he isn't Carver, the assassin White Death intended to confront, but he still shoots. Fortunately, the gun has no bullets, and before he can load it, the Elder gives a final blow, killing the White Death. Just when it seems everything is finally over, the prince appears a few steps away, armed with a machine gun and ready to finish what she started. But fate intervenes before she can pull the trigger. An oncoming bus hits her, ending her threat instantly. The movie ends with the Elder and the Father leaving, while Ladybug is left alone with the ruins. Moments later, Maria arrives to extract him. Overwhelmed with relief, Ladybug becomes emotional at the sight of her. The two leave together, reflecting on the chaos of the mission and the sheer madness that unfolded aboard the bullet train.